So while my mind is on minimalism and being minimalistic as I prepare to move back to Indiana, I'm trying to go through my things and get rid of all the things that I don't think have any value to me, don't make my life better day to day, don't serve a real purpose, don't bring me enough joy to keep, that kind of thing. Another thought that has crossed my mind about minimalism, and if you're not sold on minimalism and I can help sell you on it, something else to think about is, as people, loved ones, get ready to pass, or when they do in fact pass away, unfortunately, these are things that we have to deal with in our lives. One thing that I always remember is going to my great grandma's house, and she was always giving you things. She was always, here, take this with you, give this to the kids. Always trying to get rid of stuff like she knew, the end was coming, or whatever. I can only assume that that's why she did those things, and my other grandma did those things. But the dark side of losing a family member, that's not dark enough, obviously that's a very tragic thing, but the dark side is once you lose a family member, the greed that comes out in people is truly heartbreaking and terrifying to me, how we lose our minds when the potential to get free things come into play from a past relative. And sometimes you want these things because it's a memory. This was my brother, my father, my daughter, my sister, my mother's, whatever. And when I have this item in my hand, it brings me back to that time period. And that's understandable. That's a human emotion that we can all relate to, right? But what I want to try to teach you guys today is something I learned when watching a documentary about minimalism, is that the guy said that his mom passed away, and he got all of her friends over, and they helped him load up a truck, and he's about to take this truck back home. He's like, oh my God, what am I going to do with all these things? She had a one-bedroom apartment, but she had enough things to fill like multiple apartments. She's a bit of a hoarder. So as he looked under the bed, he found 4 boxes. And he's like, what in the hell are these boxes? They're numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4. Upon opening the boxes, he realized that they are all of his childhood schoolwork for grades 1, 2, 3, and 4. It occurred to him that his mom had kept his schoolwork, because she probably wanted to hold on to the memory of him being that little boy that lived with his mom and her raising him and all those things. But the boxes were taped shut, sealed shut. He came to the realization that she hasn't opened these boxes. She hasn't needed to open these boxes because those feelings, those memories, those are inside her. Okay, those are not in the boxes. Her child is not in there. Her child is in her heart, and it's something that she would always have. So it occurred to him at that point, he had an epiphany to get rid of all of his mom's things. He wasn't going to hold on to all of her things. So he donated to charity that helped with her medical. I think she had cancer, so he donated to charities that helped her with her cancer. He sold a few things and he gave a lot of things away. But what he did was he took a small handful of items, maybe 5 or 6 items from his mother's apartment back home with him that he keeps forever. And what he teaches you in the film, and something that I agree with, is that you don't need all these things to remember a person. You don't need 100 items. And in fact, if you keep a smaller amount of items, that makes those items mean so much more to you. So I unfortunately had a family member pass away last 2020. My great uncle Jeff, he passed away. A lot of my friends, you're familiar with him. And when he passed, I came home for the services, and I was walking through his house with my parents. We had to get a couple of things to put on display in the service, and I took one item off the wall, and I'll show you guys. It's this. So one thing that I know about my Uncle Jeff, my great Uncle Jeff, is that he liked Jack Daniels. I've always known that about him growing up. We actually did a shot of Jack Daniels after the viewing was over. I got to tell you guys, I hate Jack Daniels. I am not a man when it comes to my alcohol. I'm a gin and vodka kind of guy. I can't do the dark stuff. But, you know, I keep this on my wall in my kitchen. And when I'm walking through the kitchen in the morning, getting ready for work, I see that hanging on the wall. And I always think of my Uncle Jeff. So this one item, you know, probably has no value to dollar-wise, but it means the world to me because it's the one thing I have from my Uncle Jeff. Now, if I had 100 things from him, what would that mean to me? You know, it's just a bunch of things. It wouldn't have the same power that this one item has. So, something to think about. I hope that you all are having a great day, and till next time.